again to Klavertje kitchen. Welcome every one of you. Today I'm going to show how to make vanilla ice cream from scratch using basic recipe. So it's basic recipe. We start by making the ice custard, which is using egg yolk with milk and sugar, vanilla pod, and also with heavy cream. But here in our kitchen we make it with the basic recipe, but we try to change, like adding or cooking the heavy cream. We remove that and add the heavy cream at the end before tuning the ice, because it gives a better freshness and body to your ice in the mouth. So without much ado, let me just show you from start how we make the vanilla ice cream. So I'm going to start by adding the milk. So I'm adding here, I have my recipe which I'll be sharing on a later day, or you can even check on our channel also, and to find the vanilla ice cream recipe. It's already there, so you can also find the complete recipe there. So I'll start by adding here the milk to my pot.
Okay. Yes.
So start by adding the milk. I've already added the milk to the pot. So I'm going to add the second liter of milk. So I have here milk and eggs. I'm going to split the eggs. So then I'm going to split the eggs, and then later I'm going to make the eggs and the custard, the egg custard, and then I can continue making the ice. So I'm adding here the milk to the pot. So I have here my sugar also. So I'm going to add a bit of the or half of the sugar to the milk, and then I'll bring it to a cook point. So I'm adding here half of the sugar. So it's to steam it, and the half of the other sugar I'm going to mix it with the egg and yolk later. So I'm just, when you add sugar to any liquid, you have to stir immediately. Stirring immediately, it helps the sugar not to crystallize or to crystallize. So it's to stop the sugar from forming that ice ball that's not going to dissolve anymore. Once the sugar is crystallized, it cannot dissolve anymore. So that is why it's very important when you add sugar to milk, you have to mix it or whisk it a little bit to bring everything together. So now, okay, then I'm going to add also vanilla pearl. So I have here, I'm using here real vanilla. We use here real vanilla in our kitchen, but some people use vanilla essence. So it doesn't matter which vanilla you are using, but this is a very, very good vanilla, what we use here in our kitchen. So it really gives a really delicious flavor, and this is a special vanilla. This is it is fermented vanilla. You don't find it everywhere. We find it here only in the how do you call it, in the hospitality deliverance. That is where you can find it. You cannot just find it in any shop, because these are special vanilla. But you can also use just any vanilla you have, but this is fermented vanilla stick. So I'm just going to open it. You will know why this vanilla is so delicious and is full of aroma. you can see that is, let me open it, you can see that it's wet. You can see that it's wet from inside because it's fermented and it's not dried. So you have all the flavors of the vanilla in. Look how, but when you buy it in the shop, the most vanillas pod, they are dried and you don't have this kind of flavor when you have this type of vanilla. Look, you can see that it's very wet and is, you see, it's wet. So but I'm going to add the vanilla plus the stick like this to it, so because that there's a lot of flavor there in the stick, so we are not going to throw the stick away. I also save sticks of vanilla. Also, you can grind them and add them also to sugar, so you don't throw them away. They are also very delicious and they still have a lot of flavor. So you see, it. So I also have here, I'm going to add still another one other to it because it's vanilla ice cream. I really want that flavor in the vanilla, in the ice cream. So I'm adding here, this is 2, you see how full it is, and it's so full, and look, it's wet. So that is what you have in the fermented vanilla pod. It's not like any other vanilla stick that you buy in the grocery shop. So they come from a special deliverance. So if you know something about vanilla, you know what I'm speaking about, but it's not everywhere. You cannot find it everywhere. So I have the 2 sticks added to it. So I'm just going to add also some sticks that I used from my previous vanilla. It gives just more flavor to the ice cream. So that is why I'm adding it. So I put the vanilla stick aside. It's done. So I'm just going to clean my fingers first. So now we are going to transfer this mixture. That is the milk, half of the sugar, and the vanilla pod. I'm going to transfer it or bring it to the stove, and then here is my stove, and then I'm going to bring it to boil. So I'm not going to cook it. I'm not cooking it. I'm just bringing it just to simmer, to boil. It should not cook, because if it cook, you lose that body of the milk. So it's just coming to a cook point. So I will set it on a low heat so that I show you the other process. So I just allow it to do its work on a very gradual heat. So now I am going to start splitting the eggs. So I'm going to start splitting the eggs. So 1 minute. So the eggs, I have here about 36 eggs here to use for this recipe. But you can also check the complete recipe in the video, in the previous video that has already been published some time ago on the channel. So what I'm going to do is just splitting the eggs. I will use this container here to remove egg white. We are using here only the egg yolk. For this recipe, I use only the egg yolk because the egg yolk give a very smooth texture to your ice cream, and the taste is also different. I know there are people who say, oh, you use all the eggs, but I never use all the eggs. I always use the egg yolk to make a really delicious and you know, silky ice cream. You can check it out, my recipe, and the ice cream is always delicious. You can also check out the recipe also that I made without using a tuning machine to tune. So you can also make a delicious, perfect ice cream with your hand without a machine. So if you are interested, you can check out the recipe on our channel. So welcome everyone once again. Thank you for joining me and thank you for joining us here with Chef Viviane from Klavertje Vier Kitchen. Happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. Where are you watching me from? Leave your comments, ask your question if you have one. I will be very glad to answer them. So splitting, that is how you split an egg. You make sure that the egg yolk is not going into the egg white, and we don't throw away the egg whites. In case you are thinking what will happen to the egg white, we use the egg white when we are making croquettes for breading. You can use egg white, it's perfect for breading anything, meat, fish, croquettes. You can use it so you don't throw them away. We just separate them and we use them for later day. So ice cream, this is the better way of making ice cream, because I have seen a lot of recipes where people make ice cream. They just say, oh, we can make ice cream by mixing it, by doing this and that, and the ice cream is ready. No. You want to make a good smooth ice cream, a silky ice cream that you can preserve and use for later day. It has to be made in this way. That is the easiest way to make a better ice cream. Otherwise, sometimes when you make ice cream, you see the ice cream they are making, you put it in the freezer. The next day you cannot scoop the ice cream. It's so hard as, I don't know, a block. So ice creams should be smooth, should be silky, should be mouthful. So that is why making ice cream in this form is pay a lot. It is really the time worth. So what I'm doing now is just splitting the eggs. You can see it takes a bit time, but just splitting. So sometimes it happens. So I'm splitting the eggs, separating the egg white from the egg yolk. So that is the way, except you are a vegan, you don't eat animal products, I can understand that you can then eat ice cream without eggs. But if you are making a very smooth texture ice cream, silky ice cream, that's delicious, that you can also use the next day or 3 days later, that you save it in your freezer for later use, it is the right way to make it, not the other way around. So ask your question if there is one. So please leave your question if there is one. I would like to hear from you guys. Where are you watching me from? So let me know in the comments, because I would like to know where you guys are watching me from. So my pot is almost filled, but I think I just have enough space. Otherwise, I put it in the other. Yep. I'm happy I have here a bowl to help. So my eggs are split. So I'm going to put away and make space for the table on the table. Let me check the milk. It's getting ready. So I add the milk is on a low heat. So I'm going to clean the table first, so we can continue. So now I'm going to, this is the egg. Let me put it, this is the egg yolk that I have separated. So I'm going to mix it now, and I will add the sugar section by section. So I'll add the sugar about 3 times or 4 times. So I will start first by whisking it a little bit so that everything will be good. So now I'm going to add the first batch of the sugar to it. Then I keep mixing. I use a little bit of foam. Then I'm going to add again a bit of the sugar. Look at the beautiful texture that you have now. It gives volume to the egg and makes the egg a little bit foamy. And so I'm going to add the rest of the sugar and make sure and let the sugar mix until it dissolves. Then we can go on with the next process. So this is how you make the basic of vanilla ice cream. If you want to make a silky vanilla ice cream, you have to make the custard base. Custard base, this gives a binding or this gives a viney and a silky texture to your ice cream. So if you want a delicious ice cream that you can eat today and you can save it in the deep freezer or in the freezer for tomorrow or next tomorrow and still have that silky consistency in an ice cream, this is the way you make it. So you see how beautiful it looks. So that is what gives that silkiness to your ice cream. So it's so beautiful and for easy to make. It's a little bit of steps, but when you follow it, it's good. It's almost ready. You see, I just allow it now to go slowly. You see that it's now thickened and the sugar has been incorporated in the egg yolks. So I'm just waiting now for the milk to simmer to a cook point. Then I'm going to add the egg yolk to the milk, to the simmer milk, and then we're going to return it to the stove until it reaches 85 degrees, and then we can allow it to cool down entirely before we tune the ice cream. So in this process, you can use it, you can add more milk or more heavy cream to it, and then whisk it every 2 hours or 3 hours to have the same consistency that you will do when you are using a churning machine. So it is more longer process, but it is the same results that you have. So look, this is what we are looking for. This is how it should be. It's silky. You see, it's silky, and the sugar has already melted in the egg yolks. So I'm going to show you now my milk, and here is the milk. So the milk is coming to a cook point. So this is how your milk, look at, it's just coming to a cook point. It has not cooked yet. So I'm going to take it off the stove now because it should not cook. It should just come to this level where it's about to start simmering. Then you have to stop. So that is how it should be. So I'm going to stop it, show it so that they can see how it should be. It's coming like, you see it starts like cooking. So you stop it. You don't allow the milk to cook. It should not cook. So now I'm going to bring the milk here. So look, the milk is simmered, but it should not cook further. Otherwise, okay, my whisk is here. So I'm going to add the egg yolk mixture to the warm milk. So I have here, that is the mixture, you see it? So I'm just going to add it to the warm milk. So I'm going to mix it first because the temperature different, you have to cool it down immediately so that it stops cooking because the pot is warm. Remember, it is eggs. So when the temperature is too hot, the eggs will start cooking. So you don't want the eggs to start cooking. So you just mix it. But now there cannot be a problem anymore because I've added the cold eggs to the mixture, to the warm milk, and have tempered it. Now the temperature has been lowered. So now you can't have any problem anymore until you transfer it back to the stove. So it's easy here to use a spatula also for this process. A spatula is easy to remove every bit of the egg mixture from your mixer. You can also use also a hand mixer for this process also. If you don't have a machine like this or a kitchen mixer or robot like this, you can also use a hand mixer for this purpose. Or for this process, sorry. So I've removed everything here. You see my mixer is clean. I've removed all the egg mixture and I've added it here. Put it aside. I've added it here to the egg mixture. So I'm just going to stir again, once again. So now I'm going to remove the whisk. I don't need the whisk anymore. So now I'm going to use this now to bring the egg mixture. Now I have the egg yolk, the sugar, the milk, and the vanilla powder in this pot. So I'm going to return it back to the stove and I'm going to warm it up to about 85 degrees. Then at the end, I will add the heavy cream.
I couldn't read.
Okay, so I will add the heavy cream to it, then I will tune it to an ice cream. So that is how it goes. We first warm this up again because now the eggs are not cooked. The egg is not cooked. It's now raw eggs and all the mixture together. So we want to warm it up to 85 degrees, between 83 to the 85 degrees. But make sure it doesn't go higher than 85 degrees, otherwise your egg mixture will turn to omelette. So I'm sure you don't want that. You want a silky ice cream and not an omelette. So that is how we do it. So I'm going to transfer it now to the stove again. So it's there in the stove. So for this process, like for me, I know when it reached cook point, but I'm just doing this demonstration for you guys. You need a cooking thermometer for this purpose because it helps you to know the exact temperature that you are not missing, and that you make all those, you do all those work and your eyes is turning an omelette. So you have to be very careful because this is one of the most delicate process or procedure in the whole of the ice making. So I'm going to put the stove or set the stove in a medium to high heat. So it's not low heat but medium to high heat. So keep an eye on it. So I'm just going to put it like this. You see how it looks like, and immediately you start stirring. You make sure you are going everywhere around the pot. So you are just going in a circular move with your spatula. or with this tool. You see, you just go like this with a circular mode round the pot. So this stop any burning or any sticking to the pot, or stop anything from sticking under the pot, the mixture. So you just keep going in a circular movement round the pot. Make sure you go to every corner of the pot. Of course, I've been doing this for years and I know how it works, but if you are doing it for the first time, it is learning makes perfect, or learn practice make perfect, an Englishman says. So you can just move around so fast possible as you can to prevent sticking or burning, because if it sticks or it burns, you cannot help it anymore than throw it away. So you want to prevent that. So like now, it is not yet temperature, so I'm just waiting because I don't want to start measuring it for too long. So I will know if it's getting to that temperature. I will know and I will start measuring. But you can start measuring from go. If you have never make vanilla ice cream this from this way before, it is better that you start measuring when you place it on the stove. But I know when I will start measuring. That is why I'm waiting. So you will start seeing the vapor, the heat coming up when it starts getting close to the temperature. You see it now. So I will start measuring the temperature now. So as if the temperature is not, the machine is not working. Yes, okay. It's filling now. You see it is 79 degrees, is 80 degrees. So you see, it's keep going, it's measuring. It's 81 degrees. Ooh, yeah. You have to be careful. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So it's 82 degrees. It's 83 degrees, 84 degrees. So you see it's okay now. So now we are going to put off the stove. I already did. So you see the volume is even also more. You can see it now. It's more volume. So I will keep tempering the bottom of the pot to prevent it from sticky. You see it's almost cooking, but it has not cooked. It should not go higher than the temperature, because if it goes higher than this temperature, you will lose this elasticity, this silkiness. You see, you are going to lose it, and it will become crumble. It will become as an omelette, and you cannot change that fact anymore. It's just for the dustbin or to throw away. So make sure that it's not higher than 85 degrees. So you can even keep it lower, like 2 degrees lower than 83, 82, 83 degrees. So I'm going to transfer it now immediately to a cold iron or a steel bucket. Then I will allow it to cool down. Now, I have here my bucket that is it's better that you transfer it to a steel bucket like this one that you see here. So I'm going to see the volume is also double. Okay, you see that it's not burnt. You see that it's not burnt. You see the bottom of the pot is not burnt. If it's burnt, you cannot make it vanilla ice cream from it anymore because it will taste bitter. It will taste burning. So make sure you keep stirring, and then you can have the bottom of the pot look like this. I'm going to clean everything, remove everything. So look how beautiful it is now and how silky it is. And then at the end, before tuning, I'm going to add the heavy cream to it because I find it much better and I find it much delicious. I find it more delicious. I find it more silky and really mouthful and fresh when you add the heavy cream at the end of the apparatus before churning. But I see that I have seen many videos people add the heavy cream and the milk and they cook everything together. Yes, it's everybody's choice, but I've tried most of the method out there and I find this the one of the best recipes that you can find um, about vanilla ice cream. You really taste the freshness of the heavy cream without going further to manipulate it through the process of cooking and reducing the freshness. So as you see now, we call this the vanilla appareil. It's ready, to make a vanilla ice cream now. The only thing we have to do now is to wait and allow it to cool down, and then we can add the heavy cream to it and we can make the delicious ice cream that you saw there on the thumbnail. But make sure to check out our channel. We have the complete video and recipe there on the channel where you can watch step by step how this ice cream is made. And maybe if you want to make an ice cream, a really delicious ice cream like this, you can make it and save it for later days, because most ice cream I see people making, the next day you cannot scoop the ice cream. It's like an ice block, or I don't know how to call it, an ice cubes. So an ice cream should be silky, it should be scoopable, it should be, it should be creamy. That is how an ice cream should look like any day, anytime. So if you learned something new in this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family, or share to someone to whom it may be useful, because we never can tell. Sometimes some people are looking for this recipe. If you don't share the news, other people will not know. Help the algorithm also to help others who are searching for a video like this to reach out to them. So I will be back also to share the recipe and to show how the ice cream is tuned, and to show you the end result, how it looks like, to give you an inspiration about how delicious you can make ice cream like vanilla ice cream. We have also other ice cream. So we allow it for 24 hours in the refrigerator, and we allow it to cool down because we don't want to force it. We call it the process of ripening. So it's ripening and you have a full mouth, full body. So when you add the heavy cream there to it and then you tune it, you will see how silky and how delicious it is. And then you can serve it with all your favorite. You can serve it with pies, with apple pies, and now in season we have peach pie, and even with roasted peach or baked peach. So we have a lot of, even with strawberries. The season is almost over. Yes, we had a lot this summer. So that is just to inspire you guys. Vanilla ice cream made with basic classic recipe that will never fail you, and this you can save in your freezer for a couple of days. Take it out for 5 minutes and you have that delicious silky and really mouthful freshness that you ever dream of. So make sure to like and subscribe, and share with your friends and family from our little kitchen here in Kiona, from the province of West Flanders, from our little country of Belgium. We say ciao, and see you in our next episode. Hope you come back to see the delicious finished tuning of this vanilla ice cream. It will really, really, really be delicious. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye for now. Ciao.